Morning, morning, morning. All right, give me 1 second. I got two. Hopefully, I'm able to do this. If not, then I just screwed up, but it's not a big deal. We'll see if it works. And maybe. Oh, hey, what do you know? It worked. Awesome. Sweet. All right, welcome. I'm Dr. Algo. Thanks for joining me on another morning watch list building session. Today is the first of the month. Yes, it is February 1st, 2021. Yes. So I will be listening, thinking Bone Thugs and Harmony all day while I'm playing the stock market, because guess what? It is the first of the month. All right. Morning chat. All right, we're going to give a few minutes for some people to show up in the chat, and then we will just get right into it. We're not going to screw around today. We got a lot of stuff to cover, and hopefully we find some greater than expected moves in the old Stark market. Okay. What happened here? Did I not copy that? Oh, derp. All right, we've got news, and of course I just got rid of the news. So let me get it back. Hope everybody's night was good. Morning, Terry. It is the first of the month. Yes, yes, yes. All right, what are we gonna do today? Hopefully I can get my news to load up here. Hopefully we can find some stuff to move today. I know that from the weekend watch list, right? Spotify ripped faces, and so did, oh, what was it, Affirm or SE? I know that all of those guys, all of those ones moved pretty big yesterday. So, all right, just going through this, seeing if I can find anything that's going to be pretty decent to look at today. Semiconductors are starting to come back into the news. NXPI had earnings. Q4 EPS at 224 versus 299, so they missed on earnings. A little bit beat, a little bit over on revenue. Guides 3-year revenues up 8 to 12%. Approved 50% increase in quarterly cash dividend to 84 cents a share. That's pretty good. Pretty good. Sees a 2 billion share repurchase program, and Q1 revenues at 3 to 3 billion versus 2.96. So decent earnings. They did miss on their EPS by about 60 cents, but they guided forward revenue. I've never traded this one, but it is setting up to do a 200-day, 4-hour 200 SMA crossover. When that happens, it'll bounce off the 4-hour top, weekly mid, daily mid, monthly top, then 50-day. So there's a little bit of, there's some key levels there on its way up to that 220 level. Above 220, it hits 230 fairly quickly. Okay. Lots of earnings. I don't want to go through all of them. I just think that we should look at AT&T, man. It was doing well for a minute, and then it just kind of fell off a cliff again. It said it will spin off Warner Media in a $43 billion transaction to merge its media properties with Discovery Group. AT&T will distribute shares of Warner Brothers Discovery as a dividend at $1.11 per share, down from $2.08 per share. Ooh, that's, oh man, that's rough. Like, I know a lot of people buy or own AT&T just for that dividend. And I do. I've got shares of it in the long term just for the dividend. However, Discovery, look at this guy above the 200. Like I said, we're going to start getting a lot more stocks that are going to be testing this 200 SMA, right? And really what happens there will determine if it's a trend reversal or if it's a continuation more to the downside. When I get into the futures, we've got some stuff to discuss. Yesterday kind of played out the way that I thought it was going to, right? We discussed a bunch of rallies back to the 21, and then today would really be the determining day to find out what kind of direction we're going to head for the next couple of weeks. Okay. Discovery is above the 4-hour top. So if it can clear 28.50, I think it hits 29 and then 30.31. Okay. Flywire, Woodard. I don't know any of these. FedEx did have earnings. Ooh, that's not good for FedEx. FedEx said it suspended its domestic express freight services due to staff shortages. Why are they ripping off that? Huh. As cases of the variant for The beer bug rose. It suspended economic domestic FedEx Express freight, including 2-day freight and 3-day freight services. Why are they moving off of that news? I don't get it. FedEx basically came out and said, yo, we have staff shortage, so we're going to suspend our deliveries, but yet our stock price goes up 4%. Regardless, if it pulls back and holds the 50 or the 4-hour top, so if it holds 250, right? I think it moved from 250 to 260s incoming. That's just crazy. FedEx did come up on the Divergence scanner, so maybe this is that just that divergence playing out. But yeah, so we had a squeeze release, longer term 4-hour squeeze, high compression, released 2 sessions ago. So we got another 8. So it may go weekly top, daily top, 260, 270. Put FedEx on your list. Okay. We will look at FedEx. UPS did come out with earnings. See, there was a toss up between UPS and FedEx this week, and look at that. I didn't want to mention either one of them just because of the earnings. Maybe FedEx is moving in sympathy with UPS. UPS did have blowout earnings, $3.59 EPS versus $3.10, so an additional 49 cents per share. Q4 revenues at $2.78 billion versus $2.06, so almost an additional billion. Sees forward 22 revenue at 102 billion versus 100, so an additional 2 billion. Planning capital expenditures to be 5.4% of revenue, or approximately 5.5 billion. Expects to deliver its 2023 consolidated revenue and operating marginal targets 1 year early. Sees 422 adjusted operating margin at 13%. So basically what they did is they came out and said, yo, we have higher earnings per share and we're confident in where we're going to be, and we're going to go ahead and provide that guidance. So with that being said, it rammed smacked right into the daily weekly top. I don't know how much more room it has, right? If it blows out, if it's a blowout top, right, above 222, 224, 240, but it's, I mean, high compression squeeze did release, had good earnings. UPS for the win. Alex, let's say UPS does this. Let's say UPS does blow out previous high at 220, right? Look for a back test to the daily top, 218. Dude, 200, that's a $20 move. But with earnings, your calls would have been worthless. So, yeah, 220, 225 incoming. Look for some rejection at this point, right? Last time it hit the monthly, it fell off back down to the monthly bottom. Are we going to do a monthly top, monthly bottom thing again? Expect profit taking at the open for sure. If I owned shares of UPS at 200 and got a 10% increase overnight, I would be taking profits. All right, moving on. And oh, news, Wish news. We got some Wish news. Where'd it go? Announced the appointment of a new CEO as a member of the company's board of directors effective today. Previous founder and CEO is out and will continue to serve as company board member. All right. Let's talk about the penny stock that was Wish. I don't know. This thing's going to rip off of that news. It's just going to, yeah, just because of the amount of pumping that's going into it, I would stay away from it. We have some blockchain news. Silvergate Capital agreed to buy blockchain payments network and other intellectual property assets from Facebook. Facebook's Meta digital currency failed, if you all remember that, right? So they're buying, so Silvergate Capital is buying blockchain payment networks and other IP assets from Facebook, their digital currency venture. DM said in a separate statement, it is shutting down operations with the asset sale. Silvergate issued 1 million shares of stock to DM and paid $50 million in cash for the assets. So what they did is they came in and said, we're going to buy your blockchain, we're going to buy your IP, and we're going to buy your delivery network. So Silvergate's going to drop it. Oh, this is a great move. This might be yeah, dude. 100 and 122. This might be a serious ripper. This is a big deal. Let me just post this someplace. I don't know if Facebook's gonna simp off that news or not, but I think they might. Yeah, I gotta share this with the groups. Sharing it with the groups. Sharing it with the groups. Sharing it with the groups. Boom. That's huge news. Okay. Alrighty. I don't know why I got a headache, but I do. Alright, moving on. Maybe it's because my dog was sick last night. It's irritating me. A little concerned about him. Probably because I can't think if it's a him or her. Okay. So, Neo and XPeng. XPEV was going to make the list this week. It had bullish divergence. Reported their January sales numbers. Neo deliveries rose 34%. XPeng said deliveries jumped 115%. That's a big deal, right? Talk about recovery. $30 to $40 stock if it can break the 21 and doesn't continue down. So up, testing the 4-hour mid right now, right? We're testing the 4-hour mid, looking for a move to the daily bottom, 4-hour top, 34 EMA. So that move 36 to 38, above 38.50 to 40, 32 before it retests to 200. If it can clear the 200, it's going to explode back up to 48 or 50. That's XPEV. Neo coming in with some news as well. See how similar they are. However, Neo is in a very good position here, except for this broadening formation that's forming on the 4-hour. No squeeze, no slingshot squeeze, because there's no squeeze there, right? Double yellow, but double green interim. Maybe a little flush at the open. Neo's back down to 25. What? I'd look for a bounce off the 4-hour top, fight through to the weekly mid or daily mid, out of the weekly bottom, back up to the 200. So 30 is our target on the break of about. Let's go. We break yesterday's high at 25. Okay. Maybe a little bit of profit taking. This broadening pattern has got me a little concerned. If you don't know what that is, basically it looks just like this. It's a strat technique. I don't necessarily talk about the strat or anything to do with it, but it is essentially right. Essentially what happens is the stock will chop back and forth in between this, right? Increasing, right? Ever increasing larger moves to the upside and the downside. I like rejection for our top, for our mid, for our top breakthrough, daily top break or daily bottom breakthrough, up to daily mid, daily top. Contrarian, or the other way is it just rips through, it back tests 25 and rips back up to 30. Okay. Harley-Davidson upgraded to equal weight from underweight at Morgan Stanley. That's good for this stock. It overtook its 200. Broke, it's going to start getting some stack positive moving averages. No squeezes happening. Run into earnings. Earnings next week. This would be the week to play it. Look for that move up to 37. This one does pay really well. It's got the old whoop reversal going on. 1, 2, 3. So above the 4-hour top, we're going to target the 50-day at 37. Above the 50-day, we're going to target the daily top at 39. I don't think it's going to hit 40, but it could very well. Look for profit taking, pull back to about. Yeah, look for the 34.80 to hold. That's going to be a good one. So far, SI, Hog. I'm just keeping a list of possible movers for the day. Pulte Group, which is PHM. That's a homemaker, right? Yeah, that's pretty good. 200 rejection. This is going to be one of those where you just wait till it gets above the 4-hour top. So set an alert for above 54 for the move to 59 or 58. That's it for the earnings. I skipped a bunch of them just because there were no names that we don't typically play. We do have some pretty significant earnings after the bell today. PayPal, Match.com, MSTR, Google, Gilead, AMD. Okay, let's look at these. AMD has earnings today, right? Gorgeous move, just gorgeous. Check out what happens with earnings. They may rip, right? They may just hit daily top, so back to 140, or they're going to come back down to 100. I mean, you could do a $25 wide iron fly, but the way that it's setting up, I'll wait till next week. I'll wait till next week to play AMD. AMD would be way more fun next week anyway. MSTR, MicroStrategy has earnings today after the close, right? So this is another one of those that could do daily bottom to daily mid, right? So it could do, 390 to 450. Options on this are pretty decent. I've never played it, but I hear it talked about all the time. Match.com. All right, Match Group. So far, they're trying to get that rally into earnings. Big old ready and fire, getting ready to fire off. Slingshot squeeze, getting ready to release. If it overtakes its 34, it can hit the 4-hour top. Again, I'd wait till next week. It'll be fun to play next week if they have blowout earnings. And the IV will be way less, okay? Earnings before the bell. Zoom, Exxon, right? This one? Exxon Mobil? How come I didn't see Exxon Mobil news? They didn't report on their earnings? Why not? Blowout earnings. I guess we have to go with this. Ooh. So they missed on the. So they reported better than expected earnings per share, but worse than expected revenue. This is a pretty textbook play here, right? We're at the 4-hour top. What do? We either go through it and we go. Wow, I can't believe I just forgot the name of that. Oh, trifecta. We go trifecta, blowout top mode, and rip. Or more than likely, we start taking some profit, come out of 4-hour top, retest daily top, 4-hour mid for support. So that moved back down to about 75, right? And then we move back up to the 4-hour top. This is strong like bull. Like even with the big market corrections all of last month, the stock is up this year. Beginning of the year, as soon as it broke its 50, so it opened at 62 this year. It's at 69. It's up $20 in a month. It's pretty good. I don't think this stock moves more than $1 or $2 a day. So we need to find out what happens here. So today's gonna be an important day. If this starts this downtrend, right, into its dividend day, typically a stock will lose the value of the dividend that day, right? And they're expecting what, 88-cent dividend pullback. Yeah. XOM. Where's Laz? So I introduced Laz to this new group, and I think he's infatuated. I think he's in love with the new group. He's making money hand over fist. I can guarantee that. He's making a lot of money. But, all right. We have some events today. We have weekly Johnson Redbook weekly sales at 8:55 Eastern, 10 a.m. Eastern. ISM Manufacturing Index, construction spending month over month, and JOLTS jobs opening, and then those are all at 10. Those will affect the market a little bit, but not as much as something like FOMC, right? Right. The GDP, that's Canadian, USD, ISM Manufacturing PMI. So I guess it looks like they're gonna move it. If it stays relatively flat or a little lower, I think that could be pretty significant, right? We're trading way above where we were. So yeah, just keep an eye on that. And then, yeah, that's it for hours so far. All right, the yen is down, which is good. The dollar is, all right, so far so good. So, all right, give me 1 second. I'm gonna go wake up my chicken head, and we will get into the futures plays. Let me just read the overview of the synopsis, shall we? The summary of what was going on yesterday, or at least these people's opinion of it. I can't believe they didn't show excellent earnings. U.S. futures come into the morning down slightly after a wild move higher over the last 2 days, pairing losses to end the month as quarterly earnings kicked into full gear this week. Stocks rallied on Monday to end a dismal January. S&P posted its largest two-day gain since April 2020, and NASDAQ scored its best two gains. So yeah, they just ripped it the last couple of days. Probably had to have a certain number by the end of the month, right? So big drops in January, right? The Dow lost 3.5%, the biggest loss since January 2016. The Nasdaq shed almost 9%, biggest loss since January 2008. And then the S&P was down 5.6 since biggest drop since January 2009, right? With yesterday's surge, major averages moved back above key technical levels, with the S&P reclaiming its 200-day moving average, and the Philly semi-index stocks bumped its 200-day moving average, right? So we did get back above some of these key levels. I don't know about that. I don't think that's accurate, right? I don't know where they have their 200. Are they looking at the 4-hour 200? Because yes, it claimed the 4-hour, but it didn't claim the daily. No, it didn't. So big strong move through the 200 or through the 21, through the 618. Now the question is this. This is the important move. So let me show you. From here, do we retrace the 21 and then start our long-term rip rally roar to all-time high? I mean, it could be as exaggerated as this, right? Do we bull flag? Do we chop between the 50 and the 618? Do we? This is a daily move. I can't believe they're using the 4-hour for that. That's crazy. Anyway, yeah. So we'll get into that in a minute. We do have stocks did get a boost as 3 Federal Reserve presidents dialed back some interest rate expectations for 22 after the latest hawkish pressured markets in Asian markets. The Nikkei index crossed rose 76 points. Way to rise, babe. Shanghai remained closed for the week-long holiday, and Hang Seng was also closed. So Europe, the DAX is up 1.15%, and the FTSE gained about 1%. Fed officials stressed yesterday they are not going to jam on the brakes on the economy as hikes loom, which help ease fears for the time being. Okay, that is the truth, and as we know it. Apple is making some moves. Wow, Apple's gonna rip too. I like it. All right, so we're kind of back to that like bullish mentality, like stocks only go up, right? If I were to have to give a prediction, I think that we get a nice bullish rally over the next couple days. It'll be evident fairly quickly, depending on if they want to start the month down or up. Futures overnight did pull back to a nice key level at 42.50. It's hovering around the 4,500 mark, which is pretty decent. But looking at it on some larger time frames, I really do expect a pullback of some point, maybe 44.45. right? That would be a previous high. That would be a good level. It would also set up for some woo. Okay, give me 1 second. I'm going to drop this down to the 2-minute. I gotta go wake up my chicken head, or else she's gonna be mad. All right, give me 1 second. I can't with you right now. Sorry. Thank you. I'll be done in a minute. I'll take you outside. My new puppy is driving me nuts. Morning, Johnny. What's up, brother? How are you? Thanks for joining us. I just got through with the news, obviously. The overall consensus is that we are going to be bullish for the next couple days. We will get into AMD has earnings. Don't forget that, Johnny. AMD has earnings today. Okay, so just be. I think we went over it here. Just to get you caught up. Zoom, nice strong move, blowout earnings. Facebook's gonna. They got their blockchain tech bought out by SI Silvergate Capital, which is forming a bull flag. This is going to rip to 130 pretty easily. And then Harley-Davidson they did something. I can't remember what it was, but it wasn't earnings. They have earnings next week, but they're Wu-Tang reversaling it, right? 1, 2, 3, Wu-Tang reversal back up to 50. Harley-Davidson up to about 37. And Neo XPeng, right? Neo XPeng came out with delivery numbers. They're going to, big old cup and handle forming on that sucker. And I think that's pretty much it for, and then Wish, right? There was some news from Wish about the changing in their internal management system, which based on this stock and the hype around it, there's going to be some pretty big moves. UPS had earnings. FedEx is moving off of sympathy with that, but FedEx had negative news where they're shutting down some deliveries. I don't know why they're ripping off of this, but as soon as that news gets circulated, it may have a negative effect. But they did clear their 50. So we got to start looking at 50s and 200s again. They're going to start coming back into play because guess what? Yeah, the ES, it's got, I don't know. All right, let's get into it real quick. And also, I've got one of the FlowTrade pro traders that does a morning podcast. I'm going to start inviting him to do a dual broadcast with me, probably on maybe Tuesdays going into next week. I've got an invitation out to the professor. Maybe we're going to figure out some time for him to show up, and then Dark Pool Charts himself over the next couple of weeks will start joining us on our morning stream. Okay. All right, let's get into it. The day. How is the day looking on the ES? All right, so after a big old nasty, beautiful move yesterday, the last 2 days actually, we overtook the 21. We did revert to the mean. Now, we're in a 3-bar play, right? 1, 2, 3 bars, so we can either have one more up day and then a pullback, right? Or we do our pullback today and then we retrace. Do I think we do a 50% retracement and touch the 50? Absolutely. I think we can hit there today, right? It'll be evident really quickly if we rip up to 45.50, right? Or the 50% retracement at 45.35. What happens there? I think we should get a pullback to the 618. So a big pullback to 44.67 would be healthy. So up and then back, and then we see it continue to move up. News sources are saying that the ES overtook its 200 SMA. It did on the 4-hour. What is it doing now? It's bull flagging. Let me get rid of this. Do do I want to move our little zone here? I think we can move that up to the next zone that it's going to trade in, right? Those zones that I draw, right, they're usually the same size, so I can duplicate this, move that up to the next trading zone, right? So I think we're about to hit the new zone. I'm having a hard time seeing this. What the hell's going on here? So this is the close, 4,500, right? 4,500 is a key level. Do we trade into 4,500 up to 4,600? Is that the next 100-point move? Or do we reject the 50% retracement and back test some of these moving averages for support? I'm not calling this a bull flag because it's more of a rising wedge, right? Which is typically bearish. Okay. All right. But is it bearish today or is it bearish next, the end of the week, right? So far, things look pretty, man, I had such a good futures account going on, and then it just kind of got ruined. Some bad trades yesterday. Yeah. I feel like we're due for a pullback, to be honest with you. Kind of like what happened here, right? See how we're just kind of making this weird pattern, and we had to pull back for support, right? And then we ended up that downturn. Let me get rid of this stuff here. I'll draw new ones if we need to. We had a 2150 crossover. We're coming, we're just trading at the 200 SMA on the 4-hour, bringing it down to the 30-minute chart. It's just really consolidation mode, right? 618 to 54, yeah, to the 50%. So we may just chop in there for a little bit, right? Not a big deal. The big news would be trading back in this giant zone right here that runs. Is it? Ooh, I don't know if it's this zone or it's this one. Regardless, we've got a new trading zone coming up. We reject, we pull back. We have stack positive moving averages. Pretty decent, right? Pretty decent little moves going on there. Let's crack this over to the NQ. I'm going to run through these really quickly. Okay, there's the NQ. Also, yesterday I traded the open for the bullish bears and realized that it's kind of hard to do that on a Monday. I have to be super prepared. So next Monday, we will be picking specific plays to play that day. So just get your pen and paper out for that. Okay, so NQ on the daily, we overtook the 21, which is good. We also did a 50% retracement from this last run that we were in. So here's the high, here's the low, right? Is that right? Yeah, so we did that 50% retracement to here. We have a snow line at 15,046. That may be the pullback point. Now, let's just get this zoomed in here a little bit. And, right, 2, 3, so whatever level this one is. All right, so ultimate target is going to be 15,265. 8427, right? Just this zone right here. Do we have a snow line, which is typically support and resistance? Do we get up into this and retest here, or do we set up with the 1, 2, 3 reversal? Like, I personally want this to happen, and this would be glorious, right? There's the 1 move, 2 move. We retest back down to the 382. We come back up. All right, there's your 1, 2, 3, right? And then we launch, right? Then we launch. It looks better when I go. Maybe it'll happen tomorrow. Maybe it'll be actual Woo Wednesday. That would be cool. So we get one more up day, and then we get a pullback Wednesday, Thursday, Friday for an up week next week. Oh, am I that lucky? Let's see. So this is what that extended move looks like. 1, 2. I think that's probably pretty good there. 1, 2, 3, right? And then we get long on this 4th move. I don't know if we're going to get the full W right? That's one possibility. I've been looking at reversal candlestick. Let me get. So I've got. Sorry, I needed to share that with somebody. All right, so I don't know if I've shared this with y'all, but if you don't have this already, right, you got to go get one. And I can help you out. I can give you the hookup, but these are wallpaper. These are wallpapers. Right, these are wallpapers that you can put on your desktop background that shows, you know, candlestick patterns, right? Falling wedge, right? Cup and handle, right? Double bottom, triple bottom, V-shaped bottom, right? Bull flag. There's a inverse head and shoulders, which is the 1, 2, 3. Ascending triangle, which is kind of what we're in right now. Dragonfly doji. There's a lot of them. So there's bullish ones, there's bearish ones, there's reversal ones. Like this is the reversal pattern one here, right? So just putting this on my desktop background subliminally, I'm absorbing like candlestick patterns. This is probably the easiest free thing you can get, right? And this is just half of it, right? So, and then, you know, there's a bearish side too. Okay. If you're interested in this, you just go to bullishbears.com and sign up for their free wallpaper and ebook. And they give you the wallpapers. You can check them out. It's just super solid. Plus, it'll help support, you know, support the cause a little bit. All right. Sorry, I digressed. All right. Daily. 1539. I like 15285 as the upside target for the NQ. I don't know if we get there today. Today may be the reversal day, which would be perfectly fine, right? 1 or 2 down days, and then we get ripping into next week, right? I think that might be pretty good. Or we just rip, right? We get that V-shaped recovery, right? That V bottom, which, ooh, is that it? Huh. That looks real similar to this. Check it, yo. Check out the chart check out the candlestick pattern on the NQ, right? Compared to, I'm gonna make this smaller. Hopefully y'all can see this here, right? So down, dip, down. So we had, what was it? It would be down, dip, down, or is it down? Yeah, there it is. Down, dip, down. So the big V would be a big old move to the upside, or we do 1, 2, 3 reversal. Okay. How do you get them? You go here. Let me find you the link. Okay. No, I don't want to collect my PlayStation Network, but I do want to do this. Hold on, let me find you the right link. We're it's funny. I'm building it up because I'm talking about it because I'm rebuilding it for him right now. I just want to make sure I give you the correct one that actually is going to work. It's going to be super easy. There we go. Use this one. Use that one, right? That'll get it. It's just give them your email address. Not a big deal. Okay. All right. So All right, NQ, so we either get an update above the snow line to the next snow line, or we get a snow line rejection back down to 382 retracement for support, and then that would give us an indication of a larger move to the upside, and I will probably go pretty heavy. As soon as we pull back, confirm support, and we can continue up, right? I'll probably go pretty heavy on that. All right. I spent a lot of time on that one. I'm going to get through these quickly. Right. 1, 2, 3. Right. We overtook the 200, so we're bullish. Big move to 15,300, 15,600. Like I said, we have that snow line at 15,051. Above that, this 382. This is a big old magnet right here. Big giant magnet right here. That's the 15,295, 15,300 level. Yeah, just this. Oh, it's exciting. So we're gonna know really quickly if this is gonna be the move, right? We'll know real quick if there's that rip to there, and then maybe the pullback. Right, 60%, 50%, maybe. It's going to be one of the two. Hopefully the move doesn't take off without us. We're coming up to some pretty key resistance here. We might get a pullback, stack, but anyway, yeah, I'm excited about the NQ. And then the Dow, kind of similar across the board, right? With the Dow doing the 382 retracement. So if we all get head faked, this is a perfect spot for the Dow to reverse, right? If it can get through this and overtake the 200, which is at 35,200 or 50% retracement, then we start getting bullish on the Dow again, right? So far so good. I don't like these red candles. I do want to see a pullback for continued confirmation, right? Or we get another move like this where we just rip through it, right? Big moves. Okay. Bringing it down to the 4 hour, just so you can see what's going on. Starting to get some stack positive moving averages. That's 382 retracement, 50 or 200 SMA. We do get a 2150 cross, and then bring it down to the 30. Obviously, we're bullish there, right? If we want to play just off the 30-minute chart, then look for a breakthrough or a rejection pullback, right? Just depends on how things go today and later this week. And then the old Russell. Can you believe the Russell actually got a couple green? That longer term. All right, let me just break this down. Remember how we did the broadening pattern on Russell, right? This blue or this purple line right here. Well, it reached its 21, and it's also coming up on a tree line and that overhead resistance. So very key levels here for the Russell AMC stock, right? Or that's an IWM, right? I need to figure out what makes up the Russell. So Russell to hold on. Where do I find the top holdings? Is it just not going to show me? Why do I feel like I'm... That's lame. There we go. This iShares should just went right straight to the... Right straight to... Oh, it is IWM. I agree. I know that it used to be... AMC used to be number one. All right, so they've changed it up. OVV, BJ, and AMC. So the Russell, right, led by AMC. If it can crack this level, then I think that we get pretty decent move, right? We start looking at trading some small caps, but if it can't overtake this, it's got another downside leg coming. So key important, very important day for the Russell, right? Very important day. So, all right. And then just checking it out on the 30 minutes so we know what's going on. Dude, I've been so on fire with my circles lately and where I'm putting them and what they've been doing. So it's trying. It really is. It's got everything going for it. It's got a tree line here at 20,000 or 2040. And then it's got some of these. I got to do homework. And then it's got a snow line up here at 2115. So one of them's going to lead this. One index is going to lead the market today. And I don't know if it's going to be the Russell or the Dow. Or it could be the Q's. Q's got that little, it's like trying to reach it. So far, I'm super impressed with the ES 50% or 618 to 50% retracement. All right, watch list. Terry, did you want me to go through gold real quick? Right, gold on the daily. I'll just do it. Continuing to be squeezed by this giant wedge. If I were to change this to a channel, it might make a little bit more sense. Right? See how that makes a little bit more sense? So down again, now we're moving back up. I think we come up and, you know, we've got some key levels we got to get through, right? But I think we get a 1, 2, we might get a down day and then a continuation up. Get zoomed in on here. Hopefully y'all can see that a little bit better, right? Pullback, rally up. Do we get a pullback? Do we get one more bar up? Do we retest the 21? And then pull back. That'll straighten all the moving averages out for the next move up to retest our channel up here. And then down, and then up, and then down, and then up, right? So, I mean, it's... May 6th could be the explosive point, or, right, just the way it's moving. All right, hopefully y'all can see that. It's pretty easy. So it looks like we might have an up day on gold today, and then bringing it down to the 30. Right. One, two, three, 4, 5, up and down. So there we go. All right. And then finally, crude. Right, crude's trying to overtake 88. I think we hit $90 a barrel here pretty soon. Bonds are up again, but we're looking for that pullback. If we get an up day in bonds, then we do get the retracement in usually the rest of the market. And then this yen 4-hour, I'm not liking, right? I'm not liking its strength off of this downward trend line. Let me show you what that looks like. All right. So that is the green line off of the daily. Right. I was pretty close to that on the mean. Yeah, I know things may have changed a little bit, but there we go. That's probably a little bit better. Strength off of it. I think we've got the move back up and then back down. Just remember ping pong balls, and we trade within I've got the wrong one on here. Ah, that's why. That is why. So no, it would be 0 to 25 at 1600. Yeah, that's the one. Let's get rid of this one. That's the one. Yeah, I like this move a little bit better. There we go. Pretty decent. All right, I spent way too much time on futures. All right, there we go. Just real quick, I want to recap gold one more time. Gold on the 4 hour is setting up a move to test the 200 SMA at 1815, possibly 1820. That would require we get a pullback. Well, we've already had one. So 1, 2, this could be the third wave up, right? Which would put us 1815, 1820, or we get, I don't know why we'd get a rejection here, but we may get a downturn. Crypto's up today from what I can remember. But if I make this a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah, maybe there's a downturn time. Just know that snow line's a magnet. So, all right, and then daily. All right, let's get into the plays, shall we? Yes, we shall. All right, let me just adjust some stuff here. All right, so what you see in front of you is the smart money dark pool block trade algorithm software provided by FlowTrade. It tracks large institutions, hedge funds, smart monies, dark pools, block trades. It tracks all of what smart money does. It's created its own algorithm called the Flow Index. The Flow Index shows you where price is going to be in the future. It's a predictive indicator, right? Meaning it's leading. It's not MACD. It's not RSI. It's not lagging. Okay. What we try to find is areas of divergence where price is heading in one direction and the flow index is heading in another, because what will happen, price will come and meet the flow index at its divergence point. Why? Because this is what their market makers are doing. So on SE, for example, price is falling, smart money is building up positions, right, and starts buying into it at a key level, so which is approximately 141. That divergence is played out. So they start buying into it pretty hard, and that actually brings price back up to it, right? So they're trading with price, right? We have divergence that's occurred right here, right? Where this dark pool level is. Price is continuing to sell off. Flow index is continuing to buy into it. So they're getting a good value. Once price finally finds a reversal point and starts increasing, once that divergence is played out, right? Smart money will start selling their positions as it's coming up, right? And that divergence will play out. So what we're seeing here with SE is we've got continued divergence, but now price action is trading with the flow index, right? See how it's just trading 1-to-1. If I turn my, right, there we go, just 1-to-1. Okay. As far as chart setup goes, white bars are price action. The purple line is the regular flow index. Red lines are regular block trades, blue lines are dark pool block trades, and white lines are fun. Now, what white line means is that there's a regular and a dark pool level that print on top of each other, and those are major inflection points. Keep an eye on them. They will be support and resistance. So currently, SE is getting ready to have another stellar day, move up to 153. Then it trades in that zone from 153 to about 163. So a $10 zone there. Contrarian, it hits 153 and rejects, pulls back. Dark pool support at 150. Below 150, we have a cluster of support down at 136. I know it's a big drop, but there's a little gap there to fill. Okay, let's get your trick requests in. You want to look at SPY, Tesla, AMD, SI, HOG. Yes, sir. Let's do it. All right, the SPY. That's a way too many block trades. We need to look at the usually last 3 or 4 days. Why is it going the wrong way? All right, last 3 days for block trades. I think it's important to show you this because as I was watching these come in yesterday, oh, it was on the QQQ, sorry. All right, so scale out, right? What I see is the flow index is trading with price action. There's a cluster of blocks at 449, 448, 449, 449, 91, 92, 96, 99, right? It's protecting that 450 level. If the flow index breaks 450, expect it to pull price action with it. It can start trading in this previous zone. I think 454 is probably a safe play from 454 up to about 460. There's this one little candle right here that is providing just a funky little supply zone. So don't get head faked from 450 to 455, right? We've got massive dark pull support. We have a white line support, which is at 441. So if we can break through these block trades and the flow index, just keep an eye on the flow index, making higher lows and higher highs, it will continue to pull price back into some of these previous levels, right, that it's interacted with before. Okay, also has trendline support. Contrarian, if the flow index starts pulling back, right, and we start rejecting these dark pool levels, right, if these aftermarket ones are actually sell orders that came in, then we're going to start seeing a pullback. I would go ahead and just be chill with it to about 441. Below 441, then it starts to get a little dicey, a little woody, all the way back down to about 430. Below 430, we hit 420, right? Below 420, you can fall off a cliff like this guy's right here. Okay, that was the spine. Let's look at Tesseract. That Tesla is flowing. All right, so it gapped up. Nice gap up yesterday. Gap and run, right? Flow index is trading with price. We've got a dark pool at 932 that came in after the close. So if that's a bunch of sell orders, probably buy since the flow index was buying at the time, right? Your dog has thrown up twice this morning already. I don't know. It's sick, so I'm gonna have to keep an eye on it. Flow index is trading with price, so yeah, just be aware there is a little gap right here that might need to be filled at some point. 850 to 882. I want to see what happens when the flow index interacts with this regular block at 880 or 872.88. Right? If it rips through it, then we can anticipate Tesla to trade in its zone that goes 941 to about 984. Right? 940. Now let's just do 940, 984. If it rejects the 940 level, then it's going to come trade back down the 930, 900 or 905 level. Sorry, 930, 915 level. Okay, so far so good. It looks pretty strong. Flow index has, like I said, it's at a key level right here where it needs to decide if it's going to move through its previous resistance levels. I don't know if you can see those there. If it can move through those previous resistance levels. What are you doing, crazy dog? Or if it rejects and pulls price down with it. Will you let him outside, please? Thanks. I'm almost done. All right, and then we want to look at AMD real quick. All right, AMD is very similar to Tesla in that, right, the flow index is making a series of higher lows and higher highs. It is coming up to some resistance at 108, the flow index resistance, right? If it can get through there and fight its way from 108 to 110, then I think it will start pulling or continue to push price with it. Earnings today, so we just have to be careful with those earnings. Remember, there's a gap that runs 116 to 118, right? It's a big old trading zone right there. AMD wants to get back up into there, but be ready for this inverse head and shoulders. Left shoulder, big old head, right shoulder here, and then rip. So maybe we get some pullbacks, some rounding, some earnings drama in here for the next couple days, and then we get that move up there. I think that's it. I mean, if I had to guess, that's what I would say AMD is going to do. Microsoft, bearish divergence. So here's a good example of price heading one direction, the flow index heading another. Okay, so we look for divergences. It first occurred right here at this 291 level, right, where price was heading up and flow index was heading down. So we got a little bit of trading with price, a little bit of trading with price, right? Big up, big down. That divergence may be played out, but overall they're net selling or price is rising. So look for some rejections at like at some previous highs. So 314, right? If it can get through this dark pool at 311, it's got white line or regular and dark pool support at 309.05. So if price pulls back and takes out the lows, right, previous lows, which is these guys here, and if it takes out this, you know, that would be kind of a failed trend in my opinion, right? Just real quick. So if price breaks that, then we have to look at testing previous lows, 299. I think 300 is a pretty significant support level for Microsoft. All right, I gotta run. Thanks for joining me. Dark pool algo. I got done really early today and I appreciate it. I'm gonna go back, check in on futures really quickly just so you can see what's going on. We're starting to get that move to the downside. It's just a little flush, right? We can't rip pre-market, but big pullback happening at 6:30. I don't think we had any news come out, did we? No news until 10 Eastern. But this should just be a pullback to the 5,200, right? 4,500 is support. Continue to move up. All right. If we were spot, we would have caught that move down, but we weren't paying attention. That's okay. So it broke yesterday's high. It's continuing to move down. Look for these trend lines to maintain support. Gold fell off a cliff though. Oof. Sorry, gold. Everything is just kind of pulling back. I don't know if we got... Just checking Twitter real quick to see if there's any news that's coming out. Like if there was like a... Harker says Fed could do 50 BP rate increase, but he has a little less convinced of that right now. Harker says he supports a 25 bias point rate hike in March. Harker says Fed will stop tapering in March. Harker says Fed is not behind the curve, but needs to move now to try to control inflation. AMC reporting preliminary Q4 earnings. Oh, AMC had earnings today? Oh. Oh, AMC with their earnings. Poor little guys. Facebook continued trend pennant breakout. LI, they had delivery numbers today. Pretty decent, just like most of the other stocks that had delivery earnings, right? Neo, LI, S&P futures turn positive. The best thing to happen to Exxon was Biden's green agenda. Yep. I think that's it. I'm not seeing anything. Harker says persistent inflation would continue to worry him. Harker says he thinks 25 BP rate hikes are appropriate this year, but there's a lot of risk. And Harker says if there was a spike in inflation, the Fed may need to move more aggressively. All right, so like I said, pull back to support, right? Kiss support. Like, I'm gonna grab one of those. Oh, give it to me. Thank you. Not trying to be greedy here. Just want to grab some points. Just a couple points. All right, that's it. Got to run. Thanks for joining me. Dark Pool Algo. See y'all tomorrow. Have a safe day. Stay safe. Stay green. And most importantly, play that Bone Thugs Harmony song. It's the first of the month. See y'all later. Bye now.